Most people wake up in the morning and start to think about their problems. Those problems are connected to certain memories, and those memories are connected to certain people and things. Your brain is like an old tape recorder that plays back to you the same cassette over and over every day. If your brain is the record of the past, then the moment you start your day, you are already thinking and living in the past. Each one of your memories has emotion, and the emotions are the final product of past experiences. So the moment you recall the memories of your problems, all of a sudden you feel unhappy, you feel sad, you feel pain. How you think and how you feel creates your state of being. In other words, it creates your character. If your entire state of being when you start your day is in the past, it means your past, sooner or later, will become your future. For example, something that happened yesterday made you angry. Today you wake up and think about it, and you feel angry again. Keep doing this for 2 days and people will think you are having a bad day. Keep doing it for 1 week and people will think you're in a bad mood. If you continue long enough, soon anger will become part of your character. You will be known as someone who is always angry. So as you can see, your thoughts have something to do with your destiny. This means if you keep thinking in the past, you're gonna keep creating the same life. Without even realizing, you keep creating the same life that you don't even like. Here's how it usually happens. You wake up and grab your cell phone. You check your Instagram, check your WhatsApp, read a few emails or texts. Then you check the news, and now you finally feel really connected to everything that's known in your life. After that, you go through a series of routine behaviors. You get out of bed on the same side, you go to the toilet, you get a cup of coffee in your favorite cup, you take a shower, you get dressed, and you take the same bus or drive to work the same way. Finally, you get to work and you see the same people that push the same emotional buttons. When the work is done, you hurry back home to do the same things all over again tomorrow. This becomes your routine, and routine works like a computer program, and now you have lost your free will to a program. It is no longer you who runs the show, but the subconscious program. 95% of who we are by the time we're 35 years old is a memorized set of behaviors, emotional reactions, unconscious habits, hardwired attitudes, beliefs, and perceptions that function like a program. So then you can say, with your 5% conscious mind, I want to be healthy, I want to be happy, I want to be free. But the body is run by a different program. You are putting the 5% conscious mind against the subconscious mind, which is 95%. This is like putting an average skinny guy against an Olympic-level power lifter in a weightlifting competition. No wonder you can't make changes and end up going back to the old program and creating the same life. So then how do you begin to make changes? Well, you have to get beyond the analytical mind, because what separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind is the analytical mind. And that's where meditation comes in. Through the practice of meditation, you can learn how to change your brainwaves and slow them down. And when you do that properly, you can enter the operating system, where you can begin to make fundamental changes. Most people wait for a crisis, trauma, disease, or diagnosis in order to start changing. Joe Dispenza's message is this: why wait for negative things to happen? You can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering, or you can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration. Most people spend 70% of their life living in survival. They live in stress. So they're always anticipating the worst case scenario based on past experience. They literally choose the negative things out of the infinite potential in the quantum field. They're selecting the worst possible outcome. This is like looking at the menu with an endless amount of food and drinks and choosing the worst possible option. This is how it happens. Every time you recall the negative event, you produce the same chemistry in your brain and body as if the event is occurring again. You are sending the same emotional signals to the body. Your body is your unconscious mind in a sense. Your body doesn't know the difference. Your body thinks that the event is actually happening right now. Most people are constantly recreating their negative emotional states by constantly thinking about them. So when it comes time to give up that negative emotion, they can say, I really want to change. But the problem is that the body is stronger than the mind. The body has been conditioned for years to negative emotions. The body was a servant once, but now has become the master. All of a sudden, when you decide to change and step into that unknown, the body doesn't like it. The body would rather feel guilt and suffering because it feels familiar and it can predict it. Being in the unknown is a scary place for the body. Entering into the unknown is like stepping into a deep river. The body knows that if you succeed in passing to the other side of the river, it will die. It will do anything it can to stop you. This is why the moment you start meditating, suddenly your nose starts scratching. You remember an important task you had to do, and out of nowhere, you get a memory from 20 years ago. This is your body saying, "Come on, just give up and let's go back to our old miserable life." The body has a lot of tools, and it will use every single one of them to stop you from entering the unknown. The unknown is the best place to create your future, and the easiest way to enter the unknown is through meditation. Once you are in a deep meditative state, you can start creating your future. What kind of new life do you want? What behaviors do you want to demonstrate? What kind of person do you want to be? The act of mentally closing your eyes and rehearsing the things or behaviors you want in your life is the best way to create your future. If you're truly present, the brain does not know the difference between imagination and real life experience. Through the act of imagination, you are installing the software programs of your future life. Now your brain is no longer a record of the past. It's a map to the future. And if you keep doing it, who knows? You may just start acting like a happy person. The hardest part is to teach your body emotionally what the future will feel like ahead of the actual experience. Simply imagining it isn't enough. You need to emotionally feel it in your body. If thoughts are the language of the brain, feelings are the language of the body. It is through feelings and emotions your body understands what your mind is telling you. If you don't feel anything, then it means your body isn't receiving the signal. It's like in your room. The internet modem is working, but you can't connect because you've turned off the Wi-Fi on your phone. The moment you start feeling the emotions of your thoughts, you are connected to the internet, and you can now start downloading your future life. And you know what this means? This means you no longer need to wait for your success to happen in order to feel successful. You don't need to wait for wealth to feel abundant. You don't need to wait for your new relationship to feel love. According to the quantum model of reality, the moment you start feeling abundant and worthy, you are generating wealth. The moment you start to feel it, you're beginning to step toward your future. Now this means you are becoming the creator of your future. You're no longer living as a victim and saying things like, "I'm this way because of this person or this experience." Unfortunately, today many people are victims of their own negative thoughts from the past. Most people don't realize it, but here's the thing about thoughts. Just because you have a thought, it doesn't mean it's true. Let me repeat. Just because you have a thought, it doesn't mean that you should act on it. On average, you think 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day. 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before. If your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, then your life is not going to change very much because the same thought leads to the same choices. The same choice leads to the same behavior creates the same experience, and the same experience produces the same emotion. This is why it's very important to meditate so that you can become more aware of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. The more conscious you are, the less likely that an unwanted thought is going to slip by your awareness unchecked. The word meditation means to become familiar with. So as you become familiar with the thoughts, behaviors, and emotions of the old self, you no longer let them influence you. Instead, you start thinking new thoughts and condition the body into a new emotional state. If you do it long enough, this new emotional state will become familiar to you. Creating a new self is like creating a new garden. First, you got to get rid of the weeds and the rocks. Then you need to pull out the plants from the past year and you have to prepare the soil. Only after that, you can start planting. Meditating basically works the same way. You're preparing the garden, and it's not an easy job. Training your body to sit down and meditate is like training a wild animal or a dog. You say, "Sit down and wait here." But it runs away, so you catch it and bring it back. But of course, it runs away again, and you have to catch it and bring it back again. The moment you start a meditation, the body says, "Hey, it's 8 o'clock. You normally read emails and get angry around this time. But here you are, sitting and doing nothing. You're off schedule. What is going on? For years, we have been angry together around this time, but all of a sudden you're going to change just like that. So the body starts sending signals. The body is basically looking for that predictable chemical state, and it doesn't care that it's a toxic state. Every time you become aware of what your body is doing and bring attention to the present moment, you're telling the body it's no longer the mind and you are the mind. And now your will is getting greater than the program. And if you keep doing this over and over again, over and over again, just like a trained dog, the body will sit down and obey. The moment the body surrenders, there's a liberation of energy. You go from particle to wave, from matter to energy, and you free yourself from the chains of those emotions that keep you in the familiar past. If you do this for just 7 days, you will already start seeing differences in your life. You will start catching yourself more often and avoid going back to the old unhappy self. Of course, you need to repeat this process long enough until your future reality becomes your current reality. Hope it was a useful video. Thanks for watching and have a great day.